You always hear Flint, you get that like bad rap kind of thing. Like being an entrepreneur in Flint, you can come up with lots of things, from handbags to shirts to hats to coffee to tea. I mean, you just have to be innovative.
I love it, man. I mean, we have so many great people downtown and so many great minds that are capable of doing so many things. Some fantastic entrepreneurs in the area. It's wonderful and an honor to be a part of anything like that.
There is such a support group around here that you don't even know about until you're in this entrepreneur setting. It's kind of unbelievable until you're really in it. It's like, we're all kind of working towards something, and people want to see businesses like this grow, because at first I'm like, I don't have a product to offer, it's a service. I gotta get people to understand that I want them to pay for this service, but it's not as difficult to get people to understand it as I thought, because there are so many entrepreneurs here and getting it going in this city that I just feel very supported here, and I feel like this is where this had to take place. I always joke that I landed in banking. Like, banking was never my dream career. I was about 21 and I was asked if I would be interested in being a bank teller. I was in between jobs. Bank teller sounded nice and awesome enough, so I went for it. Never knew that I would end up being there for almost 15 years. So it left me trying to figure out what was my next goal or my next plan. And I always said, maybe it's not in banking. Like, maybe I'll just get out of banking. I had a daughter at a young age, and I said, maybe when she's graduated from high school, I'll just do something totally different. I never left. And the only thing that ever came about was my feeling that there was a need for there to be some type of education when it came to the banking industry. I've seen things go terribly wrong and people are living paycheck to paycheck, and that one little glitch where you pay that one extra fee or you have a garnish, that can change a life for someone. And being in the bank, you see those people. Like, you're face to face with the people that have those issues, and it's kind of disheartening when it's like you can't really help them, and you know that if someone could have told them before they had this trouble, think about how much money they would save or how much grief. It started to become like a vision of mine to teach banking, and I called it Banking 101. So once the pandemic hit, it became like more urgent for me to do this thing that had always been on my heart. So one of those cousins out of the group approached me one day. She works for Flint, Genesee Job Corps, and they wanted some people to come in and teach about life skills. And she's like, well, you said you wanted to do this Banking 101 thing. How about if you come down here and you do a class? And I'm like, okay, well, when do you want me to do it? And she's like, in 2 days. I'm like, okay. And it totally changed the whole trajectory of where I thought this thing should go or when I thought I should do it. It became like I had to do it. Like, I couldn't sleep at night without thinking that this was what I was, like, this was my purpose. And I did it. I stepped out on that faith, and I just started to get myself out there in the community with this idea. I renamed it Teach Me How to Bank, because that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to let people know that that's what I come here for. It happened, and here I am.
You know, I never knew how powerful one word could be till I wore it. So I wore it on a shirt, and that was like the eye-opening of it. But it really started as a child. So I grew up like in the hip-hop era. I was always analyzing and studying like clothing brands. Like, I would go to the mall and I would talk to the owners, and I would like study the brand and the design and things like that. But I always wanted my own. So it was always a childhood dream. Of course, doing hip hop music from elementary to middle school to high school. And then before you know it, my friend Ryan Garza, him and I moved to Lansing, and we got a house. And then September 20th of '97, that's when we were going to celebrate our music project. We had the party at our house, and that's when I went outside to check the parking lot. I was out there for 5 minutes. Somebody pulled a gun, opened fire, hit me in the neck, and one grazed the back of the head. Then I instantly dropped, and that's where like life changed completely. Upside down, paralyzed from the neck down, not able to breathe without a machine, not able to eat, not able to speak, nothing. That changed the course of life, you know. It was like, what am I gonna do about self-sufficiency? Like, how am I gonna work? What's gonna happen? And that's why I went back to my childhood dream, opening up, you know, t-shirt printing. I wanted to go back to that, making shirts that had meaningful messages, but I didn't know where it was going yet. At that time, I contacted my friend, and I was looking for help, and he already has other businesses, Ziad. So he came on as a partner. We incorporated, I think in July or August 2011. And that's where Easy Awareness by Design started. And then before you know it, 2013, Jessie that was doing the design work, I was going and speaking at places, and then she put Inspire on the shirt. We were like, oh, we had hope, we had believe, and we had inspire. And that was something that people always said anytime I went somewhere. And so I started wearing that on my shirt and I started talking. And it wasn't until I went and spoke at Swords Creek Middle School, the way that the kids were reacting to it, I was like, man, we have to make this public. And before you know it, we made it public. We had a Shopify page like the next day. We were making them right there at Goodwill, in the Easy Awareness by Design shop. We sell shirts, we sell hats, we sell hoodies, long sleeve, we sell mugs, basically apparel and accessories. You can get it online, or you can go to these awesome off-site retail locations.
Basically, the Romans started from us wanting to be able to provide a better quality of product for men in the area locally. There's a lot of stuff for women and children and babies and all of that, but to just go into someplace that is dedicated specifically to men, there wasn't a ton of it. So we started looking for places downtown, and I called around and nobody really had anything. And somebody pointed me to Mary, who was running SkyPoint Ventures at the time. Mary called me and said, hey, we're setting up this basically entrepreneurial experiment where we're gonna have a bunch of small businesses inside the shops on Saginaw. You don't have to staff it, you don't have to do anything except for bring your product. And I was like, Mary, this is the greatest concept I've ever heard of for somebody trying to start a small business. We try to stick with things that are as locally made as possible. So we start with local and find, okay, this is something that we're looking to sell. We want to sell, whether it's hair care or soaps or something like that. What's the closest local person that's selling these items? And then we expand out from there. And so we sell basically anything to do with what a man gets dressed for. So we have clothing, we have hair stuff that comes out of a lasso, we have wallets, we have belts, we have belt loops for your keys, we have colognes, we have all of that stuff. We have jewelry. We started selling bracelets and things of that nature. And then we've just recently started expanding into more women-based items and products of that nature. We found that while there's an underrepresented community of men in men's shops, we as men don't spend a lot of money on ourselves and we don't buy a lot of stuff. And so my wife was like, let's expand out. That way there's a solid chance if let's say a woman comes in to buy one of the products that we sell, she's going to buy something for her dad, her brother, her son, her boyfriend, her husband, whoever else, because there's a plethora of products there just to make it more universal for everybody. You get a lot of imposter syndrome, right? Like there's times that I'm sitting having a conversation with some of these guys and I'm like, man, you are light years ahead of where I'm at, you know what I mean, in general. And they're just so smart and so intelligent, and there's so many resources to be able to pull from. And then you have things like 100K, right? Where let's say you're just sitting at home and you're like, man, this is bothering me. This one thing, whatever this thing is bothering me. I know if I were to do X, Y, and Z, this product would fix it. How do I take that annoyance and move it from this couch into an actual developed business? And that's where 100K comes in and is just able to do that. And so any place where we have that type of support system for the entrepreneurs in the area, the ecosystem is going to continue to grow. I've been in and around 100K for, the last 8 years, 7-8 years, something like that, and been able to utilize it in different ways. And in my day job, I do business banking, and so a lot of my clients are able to fall back on things that 100K has offered, and even just anything in the community, being able to just point people to that direction and just say, here's what we, here's something that we offer that nobody else has, right? Like you're not going to some of these other places and being able to find a entrepreneurial startup hub. I don't think that these are common things in a lot of other cities.
It's kind of like 100K ideas, I come in with this idea and then they give me that little kick and that push and it's like, girl, go with it. And they support me and it's like they come with the research and the facts. They give me that background where it's like, okay, this is really a thing. This can really be a thing. It's just that push. It's an inspiration. It's like they have all these other services because I'm a one-woman show. So when it comes to like my marketing and branding and all that stuff, it's like, okay, I need someone. And they're like, we're that someone.
The introduction, the journey with the 100K in Shops on Saginaw, it started with Nick Custer, Well, he's the one that mentioned, hey, Shops on Saginaw, 100K. Like this is Saginaw and 2nd Street. Like this is the heart of downtown. The location is amazing. And the hours, like Monday through Saturday, And then all the spaces that are available being a vendor, like the boardrooms or the rooms that you can book courtesy of being a vendor through 100K. And then also to host your own event. And then being around these other vendors, like the hopes is going there, being around other vendors and helping them. You know, not just yourself. Like going there and saying, hey, come check out these other vendors. We're all small businesses just trying to survive. You start educating yourself on like Miracle's bags and the honey and the books, you know, Mrs. Dunn's books. But there's all these different brands there. That's why Taycon shops on Sag and 100K. I hope other people will see this and really be inspired to wanna come down there and get their product in there. And then also not just to be there, but support the other vendors. You know, don't just me. It's about all of us.
At first, I thought it would be more like a competitive thing. But what I'm finding is it's more like we're helping one another. It's more like fostering community and supportive. I think that this has been like a really good experience for me, just for getting me out in the community and seeing that there is so much support in this city of Flint. I really enjoy it. And then I meet people all the time that tell me I'm an inspiration to them. And it's not at all what I started off to be. Like I really got up with my own money and my own ideas and just started getting out there. But the support has been so tremendous that it has allowed me to, you know, have this at least as my part-time job way sooner than I thought. I've been at this for like 2 years now, and the support from the community has been what's given me this level of success, so.
Like I said, we keep everything as local as possible. I mean, we have wallets that come out of a leather shop in Owasso. We have hair stuff that comes out of Durand. We have, you know, just all of that local spirit, that local community. And I would say continue coming down, continue checking everybody out, not just us. If you have something going on and you need help, let us know. We did a Building Better Men workshop where we started off with how to tie a tie and 5 things to know before your first interview. And we partnered with Whaley's Children's Center, and they came down and everybody got a tie when they left, and we taught them how to tie a tie. It was super fun and just an amazing experience. We collect used suits. So if anybody has a suit that they don't want to wear anymore, we collect suits and we set them up for donation. We tried to either provide them to Crossover Ministries or some other place that is able to provide that for young men, right? So like we have a lot of people in our community that, you know, they're looking for a job, they're going to prom, they're doing whatever life event is going to require a suit and they just don't have access to it. So we started collecting used suits and donating them back to people. And so if you have a stack of suits at your house, shoot me a call, email, I'll come pick them up and get them out of your house. As far as making my own stuff, I don't think I could ever do that, but taking somebody else's and saying, hey, here's the reason why you're awesome and this is why we're gonna work with you and do this. For example, we have a beard product called Honor, and they do a ton of stuff to work with men's mental health and veteran relief. Finding those people is probably my favorite part of what we do, because it's really cool.
The good thing about me, I'm very flexible. So the way I designed it when I first set out, I've designed it in a 4-part series of courses. So I take you from the start of a relationship as if you've never even had one, through maintaining that account, through problems that may occur with that account, on into thinking of it as a relationship that grows with you through life. So that's kind of how I set it up. But the beauty of this is it's my stuff, so I get to tweak it. So sometimes I'll go to an organization and they don't have time to listen to me all day, because my 4 parts should be about 8 hours, but maybe you only have an hour, right? I talk to you about who you're serving, where they are in life, and I'll go and I'll tweak my thing, and I'll come up with a presentation just for that organization so that it fits with the time that you have, with the age group that you're serving, just so we can get this information out there. So it's just been a scary transition, for no other words to put in it, but exciting. Like, it's been one of the most exciting things I've ever done, because it's kind of all on me now. Like, it's one thing to be in the bank and they have these positions that come up, I apply and I get it and it's great, let's celebrate. But to step out with something that hasn't necessarily been done, and you have to see all these people talk about it, get them to understand that why it's necessary, and then ask them to pay you for it. It's like, okay. So it's been a ride.
Accessibility has been difficult, you know, as an entrepreneur. Being a business owner with a disability, you try to file for grants, it's very rare that you find you in there. They have Minority owned, disadvantaged business owned. For disability owned, it's just not there a lot. It's been challenging because when you file for disability in this country, that basically says you're not able to work. So here you are on disability, but you want to work, you want to do better, you want to have the best quality of life. And they're like, well, but you're disabled. No, I am on disability because I need care service. I need people to be able to provide my care. I'm not even able to scratch my nose. Everything a person can do besides speak or think, I have to have assistance with. When you need to say, well, I need to go under disability, they want you not to work. So you have to go through this red tape to work. You're saying, no, like I can work. Well, then you're not disabled. Well, yes, but I want to do this. So that's been challenging. It still is challenging. That's why someone like me that has resources and a voice to speak, that's why I go and advocate. Because I feel like everybody should have the opportunity to have the best quality of life. Because we're here and they have money and they want to spend it. They're like, well, we live in this city, we can't do that. And it's like, no. Like, how do you do it? Don't say can't, say how. When you say can't, you stopped it. You got a dream, you just killed it. You say can't right away.
Everybody wants $1 million idea, right? Everybody thinks that they have to have $1 million idea. But what if you just have a $100,000 idea? What if you have a 100K idea that you can turn and create some level of freedom for and be able to step away? We trade hours of our life for money to work. If you can keep those hours of your life and increase the amount of money that you make, why not do that, right? Like, why not find a way to do your own thing, be your own boss? It's not for everybody, right? Like, not everybody can handle that level of, I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but if you're comfortable being uncomfortable, absolutely do it. The best time to start a business was yesterday, the next best time is today. Just do it, and whatever it takes, just one step at a time.
You get the idea, sit with the idea, and pay attention to how the idea makes you feel. Because for me, like I said, this idea started years ago, but every time I talk to anybody about it, the feeling that it gave me inside, every nerve ending screamed, do it now. Why are you not doing this? Why is this not your thing? And that little voice alone cannot be quieted. So if you have that idea, find your support system, find people like 100K Ideas, they're here for you too, and go with it. Go with it until it's lit and the fire is so tough that you can't put it out. You can find me. I am on Facebook, I am on LinkedIn, both under Teach Me How to Bank. My email is the letter I, teachbanking@gmail.com. My phone number is on Facebook. It is my actual phone number. Call me, email me, Facebook message me, LinkedIn message me, anything you have to do. I am very open. I want to work with all organizations, anything that's dealing with life skills. There is a place for banking, and like I said before, I can make my 8-hour course a 1-hour course, a 30-minute course, anything that can fit, because this information is necessary. I want to get it out. I want to be full-time working with all organizations around me. So please, please, please contact me. We can sit down, we can make it work. So I'm just so excited. I'll talk to y'all about it all day, but no, I really need to be in these places. So I'm finding that being in substitute teaching is like, okay, I'm getting a relationship with principals and stuff like that, sprinkling my business in there, and it's like, okay, call me, because I know you need me.
So the future of Inspire was continue growing the offsite locations, maybe even get a few more in Genesee County, and also opening up an Inspire micro retail store. And in there, we're going to create this accessible environment with hang tags. We're going to make hang tags that people that are blind are going to be able to feel. We're going to have a TV on the wall, and it's going to be able to communicate with someone that's blind. They'll hear the audio of it, and then look at what works, what doesn't work, and then change some things and kind of just keeping it more efficient. And then once we're figuring out that, then bring in other business owners and show them what we did in our place. Do they have to do the same thing in theirs? No, but they can see that there is no book to it. You just have to think about it. How do we make our place accessible? Well, if you're looking to support Inspire, which would be amazing, you can go to inspireshirt.com. You can also go to different retail locations Shops on Saginaw, of course. You can go to the Farmers Market, the Epi Marketplace, Sloan Museum, and the airport right here in Flint and Genesee County. So if you want to know more about me, especially social media, it's all under Eric Patrick Thomas. For Inspire, it's under Inspire Shirt. And if you want to reach out, just inbox me. Send me a message if somebody needs to learn about how do they make their work environment more inclusive. Beyond inclusive, let's talk about belonging. Because, inclusive is just including. We want to make a belonging environment. We want to know if someone's not there, that you're missing them, that, they have a voice.
I want to do whatever we can to get people to realize how great it is to come downtown, right? So downtown Flint has so much to offer. It has restaurants, the farmers market, the events, all of those things. But people generally don't come downtown because it's just, it can be a hassle sometimes, but anything we can do to bring more people downtown, we're gonna try to do. So we'd like to expand more into clothing and do more men and women's clothing. I think that there are just some really fashionably and unique things that can be done that we don't have a huge area for it downtown. I think my wife has some scrunchies now and socks that match the scrunchies and like a lot of retro things like that she's really had a lot of fun with. Our website is theroman.shop. So we do local delivery. If somebody buys something local, we'll just drop it off. Sometimes it's same day because, when we get an order, I get super excited and jump around and run down and grab it and then drive it over to your house. But I would say keep coming downtown, keep betting on Flint, keep doing everything local as best as possible, and shop small. Jeff Bezos doesn't need anything else. Nobody at that level. If you've heard of them but never seen them, they probably don't need anything else from you. But if you've seen them and you don't hear from them frequently, they need more from you than what everybody else does.